guys, tell me something. Why are exes like roaches? When I was a little girl, my parents used to take several, they were both from Mississippi, and they would take several trips down to Mississippi, and we would stay with various relatives. But there was one relative in particular that we would actually stay with, and she was my mom's aunt. And my mom, it was really peculiar, and I found out why she did these things later on when I was older, of course. But my mom would leave her bags in the car. She never brought her luggage out of the car. She would always leave all of her bags and everything in the car. So twice a day, we would have to go out to the car and get our day clothes and our night clothes. It was crazy. And the second weird thing that she did is that at night she would tie her hair down. That was not unusual for my mother because my mother had one of those short, sassy, sexy hairstyles. So she always tied her hair down. So that was, with one of those satin scarves. So that was, nothing new. But she tied my hair down. She never really did that. But the odd thing about it was that she would tie it down over the ears. So that means your ears are covered. And I would always complain, Mom, my ears are so hot. My ears are hot. I want to take this off. And she's like, girl, if you don't go to sleep, you take that off your head. Don't you take it off your head. It was one of those things. And so I'd have to keep it on my head. Years later, my mother told me that the reason why she did that was because my aunt had roaches. And my mother always had this fear of roaches crawling in her ears while she was asleep. I don't think that, I'm not going to say if it can happen or not. I don't know if that can happen. I have no clue, but that was like my mother's thing. And to this day, I have a phobia of bugs. I'm afraid of bugs. I don't go to areas where there's high concentrations of bugs. I just don't do bugs. I don't do bugs and I don't do birds. I'm afraid of birds as well. Two phobias that I do have. I mean, and they're serious. They're not just like, like, oh, I'm afraid. No, I'm really afraid of both. Because I don't even buy down comforters and down coats because I don't like feathers. I mean, I don't care. Sparrow to ostrich, I don't like either one. But anyway, my mother paid a couple of times for my aunt to actually have her house exterminated. But these roaches just kept coming right back. No matter what she did, they would come right back. And it kind of reminds me of some exes that people have, where no matter what you do, these exes just continue to come back. Now, don't get me wrong. If you have an ex where both of you guys are on the same page, where, those relationships that you have where you guys broke up because you just grew apart, or it just wasn't working. It wasn't bad, it wasn't bad that, that it wasn't working. It just wasn't working. And you guys were adult enough to understand that, what, this isn't working for me. I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to trip. I care about you. You're a cool person and I wish you the best. And I mean, the majority of my relationships have been like that. Except for one relationship I had. How people always sit up there and say, oh my God, I can't believe he broke up with me. Oh my God, I can't believe the relationship is over. Da, da, da. There's always, where there's smoke, there's fire. And if you choose to ignore the signs that your relationship is dissolving, so sorry for you. Because that is definitely not something that you want to do, is ignore that. But before a relationship ends, there's always some type of warning signs. And there were absolutely warning signs within this relationship. But the surprising part about that particular relationship, the way it ended, was the big blow up at the end. I mean, it was like shocking. It was like one of those things you see on soap operas where you're like, oh, and I'm serious. To this day, I'm still like, oh, did that really happen to me? I mean, for real. I'm still like, man, that really happened to me. And I'll give you, just to give you an example, this is not what happened to me. This didn't happen to me. If it did, I'd definitely tell you because I put some names out there. But this didn't happen to me. But it's the equivalent of dating somebody for a long time and finding out that they're cheating on you, but you're thinking that they're cheating with a woman, and then you find out that they're actually cheating with a man. It was kind of like, that's how shocking my breakup was with this individual, was the big blow up of the breakup. So yeah. And that's the type of ex that you cannot be friends with. I'm sorry. You can't be friends with that ex. And there's two reasons behind it, especially if the breakup was really bad. One, you can't be friends with that ex because 9 times out of 10, if it was a nasty breakup, guess what? There's animosity. There's animosity there. You're not going to be able to get past it. And then you're going to have to work to get past it. And for what? So you can have another homie? Somebody you can go shopping with and go bowling with? Anyway. The second reason is that you may still actually have feelings for that person. Because if it broke up on bad terms and you were devastated by it, you probably do have some feelings. You may not want to admit that you have feelings for that person, but you probably do still have some feelings for that individual. So it may not be wise to actually try to enter into a friendship with them. I don't see that being a wise step. But, I mean, some people do it. For me, I couldn't do it. That ain't for me. Bad breakups, no. Bye. See you when I see you. I ain't trying to have you here. But some people do it. I mean, they go on and they try and they do this, that, and the other, and they try to deal with it, and they try because they want that person back in their lives. But see, the thing about it is that it's devastating. Because if you are in a friendship with your ex in hopes of you guys getting back together, it's not going to work. It's not going to work unless that's what that ex is there for. But a lot of times an ex will come back to you and say something like, you know what? We were really good friends above everything else. We were really good friends. I always thought of you as one of my best friends. Well, guess what, Charlie? My friendship was in the context of our relationship. We no longer have a relationship, so therefore we no longer have a friendship. It's just like with sex. We had sex in the context of our relationship. We are no longer having sex because we are no longer in a relationship. But some people, don't get me wrong, I'm not stupid. Some people do that, but it's a recipe for disaster in my book. But some of these exes, if we're wise, and I know a lot of us, we're not crazy. If we're wise, we know that that's something that you really want to stay away from, trying to be friends with the ex that you know that you're not really over. It's not a good idea. It's not. And exes, let me say this to you. If there was a bad breakup, don't go contacting your ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend because your life is not going the way you thought it was going to go, or you're not content in your current relationship, but you really need somebody to talk to. Don't do that. Don't do that out of respect for the other individual and out of respect for your current situation. Don't do it, because it's nothing good can really come of it. I mean, I'm sure, some people out there may be like, oh, well, me and my ex got back together and we're now married. We've been married for 15 years. Well, I mean, yeah, that can possibly happen. But come on, y'all. Y'all know that's not the norm. That's not the average end of the story. Because the average end of that story, it would be just as devastating as that initial breakup was. Because it could lead to several things. It could lead to you being in a friendship with them because you really want to have their company around. It could lead to some intimacy that really shouldn't be happening, especially if you guys are supposed to be friends. That doesn't work because that's nasty. I mean, that can get real nasty. If, you're supposed to be friends and you still got feelings for them. It just, oh my God. But anyway, so exes, hey, I got a can of Raid. And I advise all of you guys and gals out there that have exes that just won't, stay away. Get you some Raid and keep it on backup. I mean, always keep it right there Don't let it go. Constantly exterminate every day if you have to keep those exes away. Anyway, see, this is the type of thoughts that run through my head when I have 3-hour conversations with my sister about absolutely anything. Bye.